They tried to shut them up.
There's no guarantee to free speech.
They tried to cancel them.
Deplatforming works.
They even threw them in jail.
Peter Navarro,
Steve Bannon,
now in prison.
But they couldn't stop them.
It's not a prison bill that will ever shut me up.
They call them rebels.
Basket of deplorables.
They call them rogues.
They claim to guns or religion.
And they say they're outlaws.
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
War Room presents Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws.
You set out to take Vienna. Take Vienna!
The national bestseller by longtime Bannon producer Dan Fluette. Take a journey through the pictorial history of War Room in a culture that celebrates the weak. Show your support by standing with the rebels. Go to doitfluette.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Use the code RAV20 for 20% off your order. Stand with the rebels and never back down.
Well, there it is, New York Stock Exchange. We're 4 o'clock, folks. 4 o'clock in 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 8. And there is the New York Stock Exchange. Fairly timid day on the floor. Today, 154 points down in the Dow. S&P just down 9. That's a tiny move. And the NASDAQ, a minuscule move, less than 0.5% down, 8 points. Well, interesting, though, oil still hovering around $61 a barrel. And crypto was up earlier, up over $86,000 per Bitcoin, and now it's hovering around $84,000 per Bitcoin. All right, make sure they're there. Yeah, so tiny moves. People are digesting what the tariffs mean, where the tariffs are going, who's getting the tariff. You got a tariff? I got a tariff. You're going to get a tariff. I don't want a tariff. You get a tariff. I need a tariff. No tariffs for you. Tariffs for you. Trying to figure it all out. That's why the market gets jittery. But the good news is the VIX, which we've been talking about, the volatility index, creeping down, which means a little bit more settling of the markets. All right, folks, welcome back. Market has just closed, and here's what went on today. I just told you about that. But we're coming in. Look, first let's do this. Last night I was invited on Bill O'Reilly. Hey, Parker, what's Bill O'Reilly's show called? No Spin. The No Spin News. It's No Spin News. I was on there last night, and we had this debate about tariffs, and Bill is firmly behind the president on tariffs and Lutnick on tariffs, and I got to be honest with you, I will only give you my straight opinion. I've got 20 years on Wall Street, plus I trade actively stocks. I've traded gold. I trade oil. I trade crude oil, agricultural commodities. I trade everything. I trade active stocks, ETFs, everything, Bitcoin. I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm against tariffs. I don't like the idea of government getting involved in our markets whatsoever, any which way. So Bill and I had a fairly robust debate, push back a little bit, say, here's a piece of it, you decide.
Down there in Florida, you all right?
We miss you down here, Bill. It's always good to have you in the studio walking around.
You look a little like Maynard G. Krebs with the goatee, but that's all right. It's okay.
By the way, that compliment was amazing, especially coming from the guy who I did sit in for over 250 times over an 11-year period. So I must have been, ratings went down, but they must not have gone down that much, Mr. Bill O'Reilly.
You know, when Juan Williams sat in for me, they really went down. But when you went, you weren't that bad.
Well, that was a little bit of a yuck prior to the actual tariff debate, which happened here.
I know you've had some discussions on your programs, and you had some criticism about the tariffs. Where do you think they are now?
So I stand firm, Bill. I'm a free market, true, complete free marketeer. I just believe that government shouldn't get their hands in any form of the markets. Now, again, let me qualify that with I am really, really rooting for Trump tariffs to work. I hope they do. I'm hearing they are. As Kevin Hastert said, it's going to be astounding when they start telling us what they've gotten or what they've received. My only issue is I just don't like government interfering in markets. And when I mean government, I mean our government also. But if it's going to be used, I think they lost the messaging, Bill. Let me reframe this. It came out where we were going to raise tariffs to the rest of the world to the level that they're charging us. And when they realize they can't do it anymore, their tariffs will come down and our tariffs will come down as well. At some point, it turned to, well, they're all begging to, kind of kiss the ring and come make a deal with us, which was the wrong message for me as a free marketeer. He got back on message recently over the weekend and said, when they lower them, we'll lower them. And that's what I hope for. I hope for a global no tariff or a global 10% across. And I stand by that. I stand by that. I'm free market all the way. And if we somehow get China to play ball and the rest of the world to play ball, lower their tariffs, we lower our tariffs, that becomes a more free market, if that's what it was. It's just that, for a while they got off message talking about the rest of the world owes us something, which no one owes anyone anything. It's a global marketplace. That's all. They're going to get what they can get, just like a retailer would get what they can get for their products in any given retail operation, a store, a mall, online, wherever you get what you can get, what the market will bear. And when government gets involved, it tends to upset that supply demand. So prices meet at where supply crosses demand. I just like it when you change demand because of tariffs, that you change the actual value of the pricing of the product. And we're going to drive prices up if we add tariffs. Anyway, moving on to some of today's news. This guy, Kilmar Abrejo Garcia, the mainstream media's doing everything they can to turn that guy. And in fact, they called him the Maryland guy. They called this guy the Maryland guy, an MS-13 guy who is basically a domestic terrorist deported by Trump. Just so there's no confusion here, the man's a member of MS-13. As a matter of fact, listen to Secretary Kristi Noem break down exactly why this man is no longer allowed to be here in the U.S.
This was just one of those examples of an individual that, was an MS-13 gang member, had multiple charges and encounters with the individuals here. Trafficking in his background, was found with other MS-13 gang members. Very dangerous person. And what the liberal left and the fake news are doing to turn him into a media darling is sickening.
Secretary Noem just said the entire Democrat Party is trying to make Trump the villain, as usual, calling him the Maryland guy. He's an illegal, and he's done bad stuff here. As usual, they're trying to make him the bad guy, Trump, for sending this dangerous dude, bad hombre, home. Senator Chris Van Hollen is one of those ridiculous Democrats, by the way, from Maryland. And he's threatening to travel to El Salvador to personally fight for the man's apparent right. MS-13 member here illegally, may have committed crimes. His right to be here in America. Van Hollen, you nut. Here, watch.
I saw the comments of President Bukele, and I look forward to meeting with him. I've requested to meet with him. I reached out to the ambassador here to ask to meet while he's here. But I've also made clear if we can't meet here, I do intend to go to El Salvador to discuss the release of this individual who is illegally detained. A Maryland man who's the father of 3 in a notorious prison in El Salvador. And I believe the president of El Salvador will recognize why it's important to allow him to return to the United States of America.
Why, Chris? Why? So you bring him back, I don't know, maybe he gets off and kills another one of your constituents or rapes one of your constituents' daughters. You okay with that, Van Hollen, you Democrat, liberal, lunatic moron? Well, he's not alone. Timu Obama, also known as Hakeem Jeffries, joined the fight and made some empty threats directed at Trump and the administration. Watch.
To intensify the pressure on the Trump administration to comply with the Supreme Court's directive, and the Supreme Court and or the federal district court actually needs to enforce its order. And the vehicles that are available for the court to do that relate to contempt. And that contempt can be directed at a variety of different members of the Trump administration, including but not limited to the Secretary of State and or his or her designees, and the Secretary of Homeland Security and or his or her designees for the court to determine.
Yes, let's definitely bring this lunatic killer back to America. And I'm not going to say he's a killer. I'll say he's alleged to have committed crimes. Democrats making this their obsession of the week. In fact, here, remember Keith Olbermann? He was a sports guy for a while, and then he decided politics, and he got thrown out of politics. I don't know. I think he's really lost his mind. Keith Olbermann, useless take, number 1.
On the all-new Monday Countdown podcast, Kristi Noem, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, and Tom Homan, the head of ICE, must be arrested immediately for contempt of court. They're defying court orders to return Mr. Abrego Garcia from captivity and torture in El Salvador. And they and Trump are on the verge of being in contempt of court of the Supreme Court. as Trump begins to indicate he will not abide by its rulings about returning Abrego to this country.
Hey, Keith Olbermann, you horse's ass. Do you understand that he's a citizen of El Salvador, not the United States? He has no rights here. He has no right to due process here. You break the law here, you're a citizen of another country. We don't owe you squat, Olbermann. The Democrats like to use big, scary phrases like contempt of court. Yet, if history tells us anything, this is nothing more than what they're used to, fear-mongering by the left wing. They care so much about placing blame, yet not a single member of this absolutely deranged party has mentioned the fact that this deported Maryland illegal migrant is a violent gang member with ties to human trafficking. Why do you think that is? I guess it's because that would kind of ruin the narrative for him. By the way, like I said, if Trump's for it, they're going to be against it, even when it's a horrendous criminal who's done bad things in the United States and not even a citizen. When we deport him, they want him back just because Trump wants to push him out. They want him back. They would hate oxygen if Trump said, I love this big, beautiful American oxygen. Dana Bash over at CNN did her very best job to let America know that CNN is on the people's side. They don't hate us, like Trump said. Well, they don't hate America either. Well, listen.
Where we have heard a lot of bits of information, a lot of news nuggets that we want to definitely focus on, a lot of...
Oh, we don't hate America. We're CNN. We just hate America. The latest conspiracy theory for MSNBC just dropped. Apparently, Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat, by the way, well, now she's a Russian agent.
Fantastic. I really hope that alternate universe me is really enjoying like a life that is nicer than where we are right now in this hellhole. Why are we shocked? She's, we learned that she was a Russian agent. They celebrated her, so why do we think that...
We learned that she was a Russian agent?
Yes, we did.
Where did we learn that?
From Russia. We had it mentioned by Hillary Clinton during her debate. Like, should we look into Tulsi Gabbard? Unproven. Okay.
Unproven. Okay. Allegation. No, I'm serious.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. I mean, agent is a strong word of a foreign state.
So Tulsi Gabbard used to be a Democrat. She ran for president as a Democrat. I don't hear any of them complaining about her relationship with Russia when she ran for president as a Democrat. You liberal hypocrite SOBs. On a lighter note, WNBA star, and I use that term loosely because Angel Reese can't hit a layup. She's missed 3 layups in a row that we've watched. Well, he's running her mouth again. The same girl who can't sink a layup thinks that she should be making as much money as, get this, LeBron James, the top scorer in NBA history. Let me remind you that the WNBA is a paper shredder when it comes to Benjamins, when it comes to paper money. And outside of grabbing her own rebounds after missing layup after layup, Reese doesn't offer a darn thing on the court. Listen to her explanation why she should get as much money as LeBron.
See for women's sports.
Us getting paid our worth.
Period.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing exactly what LeBron is doing. So, what's going on?
Sis,
I don't
they ain't got the money for us just yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Is it? I don't understand
it's
it.
It's a lot that goes into it. But it's coming. Trust me, it's coming.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. What's coming, Angel? You're going to make $20, $30 million a year? I don't think so. Sorry, I don't think so. Got to hit layups first. All right, before we head to break, I wanted to remind you about my podcast and YouTube page, which are both updated daily, lets you hear this show, and, by the way, tons of other fresh and different new content anywhere, anytime. Be sure to subscribe now so you don't miss it. Let's go to the White House right now. Trump is talking to the Navy midshipmen, folks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Please. Good to be with you. Good-looking people behind me. Too many good-looking people. Never like that many. They look great. We had a wonderful team here yesterday, Ohio State. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Please. Good to be with you. Good-looking people behind me. Too many good-looking people. Never like that many. You look great. We had a wonderful team here yesterday, Ohio State. They also had an incredible season, as you know. Then we had the Dodgers here. They just won the World Series last year, World Series. So we have a lot of people celebrating at the White House. There's no place like it. Very special, very, very special. And it's an honor to have you all. And I want to say, number one, at ease. Just enjoy yourself. You can take it. I'm the boss here. You can take it. You don't have to listen to them for that. Just, you're going to have a good day. And if it's okay, I'm going to invite you over to the Oval Office when we're finished and present you with a little something special. Okay? Let's finish up and we'll head over to the Oval Office together. Okay. Today it's a great honor to officially present the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy to the 2024 Navy Midshipman Football Team. A great team, really great team, great people. Congratulations, and we're thrilled to be joined by a proud Marine Corps veteran Vice President J.D. Vance. J.D.? Where's J.D.? What the hell happened to J.D.? Because he was just here. He must have gotten a call from China. He'll be here. Along with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Pete, very much. You're doing a great job, too. The Houthis aren't doing very well, but you're doing well, aren't you? Huh? Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan, friend of mine, great guy, very successful person, by the way. Our new chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Raisin-Cane. Where is he? There he is. I talked about him in my speeches for years. Who knew I was going to be appointing him to be the top? And it's an honor. It's a real honor. Everything you did with me was perfect. I said, what happened to that guy Raisin-Cane? I want him. Yeah, that's what happened, and so you're good. I have no doubt about it. Thanks, Dan. Acting Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral James Kilby. Admiral, thank you. Congratulations. And Superintendent of the Naval Academy, Vice Admiral Yvette Davids. Yvette? Oh, hello, Yvette. How are you, Yvette? But I especially want to thank and congratulate Athletic Director Chet Gladchuk, who will soon retire after 24 years. I looked at him and I said, this is a young-looking guy. I don't like this retirement stuff. But after 24 years, and you're going to do other things, I guarantee you that it'll also be incredible. But it's going to be very hard to top what he's done as athletic director. He's had the honor of 4 national championships, 251 conference titles, and 352 All-American athletes. That's not bad. Where are you? Where are you? That is not bad. So you had all of these All-American athletes. Any name athlete that really stands out, or were they just all great athletes? Everyone, as far as you're concerned, they're all the same. Great job you've done. What a record that is. Who has a record like that? I also want to thank some of the newly appointed members of the Naval Academy's Board of Visitors. Sean Spicer is here, and Walt Nauta. Now, Walt could be, he's thinking about going to Guam someday, and he'll be taking over as governor, but we won't mention that right now, Walt, will we, huh? He's fantastic. He's been with me for a long time, and he's great. And Sean, where's Sean Spicer? Sean, congratulations. It's a great honor. I can tell you, a lot of people wanted that position, so you guys are going to do it well. I have no doubt about it. The story of this incredible season began last February when the Navy football team entered the weight room for the winter workouts. I wish I could have joined you, but I was never too much into lifting weights. I should have done it. I could have been president someday if I did. After 4 disappointing seasons, they were so disappointed. Your coach, Brian Newberry, plastered pictures of this magnificent trophy on every wall to remind you of the ultimate prize. And in 2024, you lived up to Coach Newberry's vision, and you showed the world, the midshipmen, and that you know how to fight, and win, right? And that's what you did. That's what you did. Wow. That's a hell of a trophy. How much does that weigh? I don't know. Am I supposed to carry that? I don't think it can be done. I hear it's quite heavy, actually. You won 10 of 13 games, including 9 by double digits. You beat Air Force, you beat Army, and now this 170-pound trophy, that's what it is yours once again. And I have to tell you, you had some brilliant players. On offense, you were led by an incredible fullback, team co-captain, Daba Fofana. Where is Daba? Where are you? Is he hard? Coach, is he a hard guy to tackle? Could I tackle him running full speed? You don't suggest it, right? You want to say something? Come on.
I'm just going to say we couldn't have done it without Brian Newberry here, my co-captain here, Colin Ramos, and just everyone buying into the mission. And I'm excited. Praise the Lord.
Thank you. That's a great player, huh? That's great. Thank you very much. It's really beautiful. We have, on offense, we have a quarterback who is also very, very special. I hear he's great. Blake Horvath. Blake, where are you, Blake? Where are you? Come on up here. He said both strong and accurate on. Please.
Oh, appreciate it. No, it's an honor, right, to share this stage with President Trump. And, you know, I speak for the team when I say that. So thank you for having us. And, you know, it's all about the team. Trophy's a team. So, you know, great honor. Thank you, sir.
Are you being back or are you?
Yes, sir. I'll be back next year.
Oh, I'm going to be watching. I hear you. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Blake. We're going to all be watching. This year, Blake tied the school record for touchdown passes in a single season, rushed for more than 1,200 yards. Wow, that's pretty good. And set a new school record for the longest rushing touchdown when he faked a handoff during a read option, carrying the ball 95 yards into the end zone to help beat Oklahoma. That's a serious team. We're not playing games here, Coach. Wow, is he a pretty good runner? Is he fast?
He is.
That's amazing. 195 yards for a quarterback. I'd say that's pretty good. But because of your teamwork, the midshipmen had the 6th best rushing offense and the #1 red zone touchdown offense. That's a big deal in all of college football. A truly amazing achievement. But to succeed, you have to excel on both sides of the ball. And the midshipmen had the #4 ranked red zone defense, led by one of the best tacklers in college football, linebacker and defensive captain, Colin Ramos. Where is Colin?
It's an absolute honor to be here. It was an amazing season. I'm so proud of these guys, and thank you, President Trump, for having us. Really an honor. Thank you.
I'll bet you're a tough guy. To do that, you got to be tough. Congratulations. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Great, huh? Opposing teams feared your secondary, especially the first ever midshipman with 2 pick sixes in a single game. Comeback, it was a big comeback to Sean Peel.
Yeah, we're just very grateful to be here. Yeah, that's it, really.
It's called the strong silent type, right? Thank you very much, Deshaun. And no one can forget contributions of the All-Star Safety Special Teams Player of the Year, and I guess an NFL prospect. A number of them are Ray Lane. Ray?
Yeah, I just want to say it's an honor to be here. Thank you for the support. And, you know, go Navy, beat Army.
In December, I was honored to personally attend the 125th Army-Navy game in a battle that would be one of the best ever between the schools. It really went down to the history books, Coach. After you held the lead all game, the fourth quarter Army offense prepared to tie it up. They were getting right down there. I was there to watch, and you showed something that was amazing. You showed a very brilliant game time, Coach IQ, I guess you'd call that, huh? Were you happy with the end? Yes, you were very happy. Did you think you were going to win the game at that point? Okay, he's got to say that, but it was pretty amazing, actually. You faked the fourth down punt and gave the ball to the 6-foot-tall, 285-pound nose guard, Landon Robinson, who found the seam and rumbled 29 yards down the field to clinch the victory and to beat Army. Okay, where are you now? Where are you? Come on. Wow. I wouldn't want to tackle him.
Thank you, sir. First off, I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. President for inviting us. Super thankful. Wouldn't be here without my teammates, without my coaches for, calling the play and making sure that it was open for us to run it. So super thankful and excited for years to come. So
great job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
That'd be a hard guy to tackle, wouldn't it, Coach? It's painful. It's called painful. Great job. With the win, this trophy, you secure your spot as one of the greatest teams in Navy football history. That's a tremendous honor. You've had some great teams. As president, I've no higher honor than serving as the commander-in-chief of the America's Armed Forces. And I have to tell you that I've gotten to know so many of the people at the Academy, not only football players, just people generally. Roger Staubach is a friend of mine and a great person. Played golf with him. And the last time I played with him, he hit a shot, looked like we were in trouble, and he came out from behind a tree from about 130 yards away. He had no shot to the green, and it ended up about 6 inches from the hole. And I said, well, that's Roger Staubach, right? That's him. He was great. I tell you, when he played, he'd drop back, and he was in a different league. He was really amazing. What a player. What a player, what a great guy he is, but he loves your place. Since I took the oath of office, the spirit of our military has soared to new heights. Today, I'm proud to announce that in February, the U.S. Navy has best recruiting numbers since 2002. That's a long time ago. And under my administration, the Navy is on track to have the best recruiting year since the start of the war and the war on terror. But going back further than that, probably 25 to 30 years. So I can say this strongly. About 7 months ago, Pete, they were having numbers that were a disaster. And over the last 2 months, 2.5 months, the numbers have gone through the roof. So it's great. Michael, same thing. And the numbers went through the roof. And it's also true with all of the armed forces, and it's true with our police, with our firemen. There's a lot of spirit right now in the country that we didn't have 6 months ago. So that's an honor, but you have your highest recruiting numbers in about 20 years, and that's fantastic. That's pretty good, Sean, when you hear that, right? Pretty good. You can be proud. Within this amazing group of young men are 23 seniors who will graduate next month, including 13 Navy ensigns and 10 Marine Corps second lieutenants. Over the past 4 years, they've grown morally, mentally, and physically in preparation for their service to our nation. They're not just great football players, and you can see this, that they are just amazing people. They're true American warriors and future submarine captains and fighter pilots and Marine infantry and Navy SEALs. And we have I shouldn't say this too loud because some people aren't thrilled, but I'm thrilled. We have the largest budget we've ever had. We're buying gorgeous new ships, gorgeous new. And John, you're going to be working on that. He's a great, John Phelan's a great businessman, one of the best. And you're going to get that job done. And we're going to make them beautiful looking ships too. The look is very important to me, John. A lot of times they'll show me a ship or a plane and I say, that doesn't look good. They say, well, it's stealth. I said, I don't care if it's stealth or not. We're going to change it if we have to. I'm not sure I believe so much in the stealth thing, but we want the most beautiful equipment, the best equipment. That's what we're going to get, and you're going to lead the way, and I'll help you too, because I like doing that stuff. And we're going to get a lot of ships, a lot of planes, and for all of the armed services. So I appreciate it, John. Do a job. And I just say to the gentleman behind me, your commitment is something very special. And as long as I'm Commander-in-Chief, the United States will always have the strongest, fiercest, and most powerful Navy on the sea. And again, we're going to restock it like it hasn't been restocked before. We're going to have $1 trillion budget. Think of it. You know, it's like crazy. It's crazy, but more than anybody else by double. And we're going to be in a league. I rebuilt our armed forces in my first term, got them almost entirely rebuilt. Then we had a catastrophe known as Biden, and in Afghanistan, he gave so much of the equipment away, but still it was only a small fraction of what we had done. And we're restocking it now, and we're going to have something that nobody's ever had before. So I'm counting on all of you people in the front to get out there, and we got to get the best equipment in the world. And we're going to pay the price, but we're going to get the best equipment in the world. We have to have it. Lots of ammunition too. We get a little low on ammunition. I came into office and they said, first time they said, sir, we're very low on ammunition. I said, don't say that to the enemy. I don't want the enemy to hear that. And I came in this time and they said, sir, you're low on ammunition again. We gave a lot of it away, you know that, but we have to keep a lot of it. We have to keep it for ourselves also. So we're going to work together and we're going to do something great, Pete. And you're going to do a fantastic job doing the job you're already doing. You've made a big impact. So I'd like to now introduce a very special man, a great coach. You would rate him great, right? Good or great? Good. Oh boy, am I glad you said that. Would I be in trouble if he said anything? But there's nothing much you can say because we see his record. So, Coach, could you say a couple of words, please? Brian Newbrow. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
And many thanks to your staff for taking care of us today and herding us around the building. Appreciate that. And many thanks to everyone here in attendance to honor these special young men here today. We're humbled and grateful to be here. The highest honor and the most important tangible goal in our program is to be standing here in the White House with our Commander-in-Chief and all of you here today. Proudly representing the United States Naval Academy, the entire brigade of midshipmen, and all the men and women serving in our Navy and our Marine Corps, both past and present. The young men here on the stage and some of them out here in the audience are some of the best and the brightest that our country has to offer. In a little over a month, these 23 seniors, these incredible young men standing behind me, will graduate and commission as officers in the United States Navy and Marine Corps under your command, Mr. President. And they will do so with tremendous character and the core values of duty, honor, courage, and commitment. I know there have been a lot of great teams. You mentioned some of those earlier, come through here, collegiate, professional, world champions, national champions that have been honored here at the White House. But Mr. President, this is your team. This is America's team. And the CIC trophy is the most coveted and honorable trophy in all of college sports. And it's our objective to come back here and get to know you a little bit better over the course of your tenure. This time I'd like to bring up our two captains, Dabo Fofana and Colin Ramos, to present you, Mr. President, with a couple of nice gifts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Go Navy, beat everyone.
Wow, that's a beauty. That's fantastic. Let me do this. Come on. You guys, come on over. Come on over, Coach. Thank you very, very much. And we're going to bring the team and a few of your special friends down to the Oval Office. And we're going to have some fun, so I'll see you down there. And I'll carry this with me and I'll pretend I'm a great football player. Okay? Thank you all very much.
Naval Academy midshipmen have departed the East. Thank you.
Well, that was President Donald J. Trump with the Navy midshipman holding that football the proper way with the tip of your hand around the tip of the football as he left the building. All right, folks, we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. I think we're going to have Brian Glenn. I'm hoping we have Brian Glenn on the backside. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
Hey America, listen up. Car repairs are seeing record highs. They've seen a nearly 50% increase in recent years due to a shortage of car parts and workers, and that number is still rising. With more drivers choosing to keep their cars longer, that means a lot of out-of-warranty drivers are getting hit with expensive repair bills. If this is you, you're risking paying thousands when your vehicle breaks down. Or you could call CarShield now to help save big on your next covered repair. CarShield offers low month-to-month plans that have helped save drivers thousands on car repairs. These plans help protect your car, truck, or SUV, and up to 5,000 parts and systems. Look at how much these repairs could cost. Just listen to how much these customers saved.
I've been a CarShield customer for more than 2 years. I've filed 4 claims and saved nearly almost $7,000.
I've been a CarShield customer for over 4 years. I've saved over $3,000 covering 2 cars, and I couldn't be happier.
Car repair costs are currently at an all-time high. Don't run the risk of having to pay out of pocket. Call CarShield right now and get their price lock guarantee, where your price never goes up as long as you cover your car.
Saving drivers money on car repairs with CarShield is only the beginning. Plans go the extra mile and include 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance, all at no additional cost to you.
Best of all, you'll get access to CarShield's concierge service, who can even help you find a mechanic near you.
Avoid the skyrocketing costs and call to speak to an expert now. Together, you can find the plan that works for you in just minutes. Don't wait. You have to call before your car breaks down, or it's too late.
CarShield has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and was voted America's most trusted auto protection company. It's not a matter of if, but when your car will break down. It's time to call CarShield now. Call 800-853-6533. 800-853-6533.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a Kids Guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free Kids Guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
Well, all right, voice of God. MD's not here. He was here all day. He was really early, and he took off. But Colin's here. Colin, would you say there's a hawk cam? Hawk cam. It's not like an eagle. Those are hawks. Hawks.
Yeah, those are hawks.
Okay, gotcha. In Oxford, Massachusetts. All right, got it. Hawk cams, folks. Hawk cam above a Little League field. Short porch on left, so to speak. I think about it. Every dollar you spend is either supporting your values or working against them in today's economy. Where you spend your money matters. That's how we take back our country. Patriot Mobile is leading the way as America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Switch today without sacrificing quality or service. You'll get exceptional nationwide coverage because unlike most budget wireless providers, Patriot Mobile has access to all 3 major U.S. networks. You can even add 2 numbers on 2 networks on 1 phone, something the big guys just can't even do. Stay connected with flexible, unlimited data plans to fit your lifestyle. These plans offer high-speed data, mobile hotspots, international roaming, device protection, and even internet backup. Here's the best part. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting faith, family, and freedom. If you believe in our First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and supporting our veterans, this is where you belong. Switching is simple. Keep your number, keep your phone, or even upgrade. Patriot Mobile, 100% US-based team will get you activated in minutes. Right now, go to patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT to get a free month of service with promo code RAV. Make the switch. Defend freedom. Defend the First and Second Amendment with every call and text. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Alrighty, now let's bring in our RAV Chief White House Correspondent, Brian Glenn, who's in Cobb County, Georgia, for Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's Tax Day Town Hall happening this evening in about an hour and 19 minutes or so. Brian, thanks for being here. So, Congresswoman Greene is off doing some speaking in different areas. But tell us what you're expecting tonight. Specifically, we're hearing there's going to be a lot of protests.
Well, yeah, it's kind of what they've done the last couple of months as Republicans hold these town halls around the country. Democrats usually rally together, go to these town halls and try to essentially crash them. But I don't anticipate that tonight for several reasons. Not only is this district heavily red and very supported with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but also we have a bunch of security. I mean, a ton of security here. They are making people prove by a valid driver's license that they actually live in the district. So if they live outside the district, they're not allowed. And even if you're a supporter of Marjorie, you're not allowed in this town hall. But nevertheless, I'm sure a few will sneak in here and try to make their voices be heard, as they have the right to do. But then they also have the right to be escorted out by one of our finest here in Ackworth, Georgia. It does kick off 6 o'clock tonight. She's been doing around the district all day, meeting with mayors and city officials in this district, and just really kind of getting back to what I guess the representatives should do when they go back home and not in Congress, is go talk to the people on the ground. But tonight, they're going to talk to about 300 people in this room. Right now, here's a little side note. We've had more than 50 media requests for this event. So we've got everything from CNN, C-SPAN, Fox, all the Atlanta media is here. But Real America's Voice will be where you can watch this tonight. Stay tuned to our social media for the link to watch this town hall.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, we love Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a firebrand, but what that does, it also makes the left crazy. And like you point out, First Amendment, you have a right to protest. That's what we embrace, the right to protest. Just do it legally, do it responsibly, and do it without violence. So those folks are supposed to be in some sort of holding pen outside of the venue, right?
That's correct. There is a lot across the street. They anticipate about 400 of these protesters based upon the analytics that they've gathered from some of the chat rooms, I think, that people are talking about. Whether or not that happens, we don't know. But I know one thing. We'll have about 300 people in this room, all asking questions. And she's going to kick this thing off. Here's a little sneak preview on here. This thing will kick off with a Barack Obama video that I think will set the tone for what they're going to hear tonight in Ackworth.
Tax day, I'm thinking maybe a little explanation of tariffs, but you just threw a loophole, a little, I don't know, curveball, like a low outside slider, which I could never hit in baseball. That's why I'm not playing anymore. Barack
I can't either.
Obama. Illegal immigration. I can't even place what in the world. Why are we even talking about the guy who almost took the country down?
I know. I don't know. I guess it's to fire up the crowd here, in case maybe there might be a few people in here that'll clap with it, but imagine there'll be a lot of boos in here. And this feels like a Trump rally, to be honest with you, with the security outside. The amount of security is incredible around this facility. The media, just the pageantry, I guess, the video screens. There's one right behind me right there that they'll be playing some of the videos on and pulling up some
You showed us
slides.
in the break. You showed us the room. Can you spin that camera around again? It's a pretty. It's a good sized room
around here.
And I noticed when you showed me earlier, there were some names up on the front 2 rows. Who are those? Who are the dignitaries? Who?
Yeah, these are local dignitaries. I don't know if anybody statewide. Obviously, I don't think the. Let me make sure to get the autofocus in here. The governor. Or anything like that.
That's a good size room. But that's a really nice size room. And I'm guessing they're gonna plant some of the protests and they're gonna fake it, and, with the fake IDs and whatnot. Go ahead.
Well, what's interesting about this, when you look at some of these town halls that have failed miserably, it's because the Republicans in those districts, Eric, didn't necessarily have the strong support that she has. I mean, obviously, people are very passionate about their representatives. In this district, they are. Mm-hmm. I've seen districts in Texas, and I'm not going to name any names, but they have these milquetoast, lame duck town halls where they draw few supporters, and most of us dominated by Democrats that infiltrate their way into these town halls, and they just ruin it. And that's why they end up on clips on CNN later. I would imagine you'll see clips on CNN later tonight, but you'll also see a massive room with supporters verbalizing their opposition to whoever chooses to come in here and disrupt this town hall. So it should be very interesting.
It's going to be very interesting, especially with the cops. I'm assuming the cops love Marjorie Taylor Greene, everything she's about, everything
they do.
You're about. You're always at the forefront of the breaking news, political breaking news. Really good to have, your insight and your perspective. Especially, take a look at this, folks. Can we roll that little clip, the preview clip? Just roll it.
Franklin here at the White House. What a week it has been.
We have a couple of senators here I just don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce.
The LA Dodgers.
Mr. President, we have a gift for you as well.
To race car drivers.
And now he's going to do it back to back. What the hell are you doing? What are you eating?
To world leaders.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States.
To press briefing. Stand over here in the corner. This is the corner. It's a good corner.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all.
We're not even 100 days in yet. I mean, it's just incredible.
To be here covering it is a blessing of a lifetime.
I didn't show up to work in a hoodie today.
Not a bad day. Sunday in America.
Sunday in America with Brian Glenn. Sundays at 7 p.m. on Real America's Voice.
Now, Rav is real smart. You're at the forefront of it. You're the tip of the spear. You're getting it done. I would have just thrown the Zelensky's comment about his suit in that promo if I were that. But maybe week 2 we could add that for you because that was an amazing moment.
I have a funny story. About that if we have about 2 minutes. Do we have enough in this thing? I have not told this story on the air. Yeah. Do we have time? Okay.
Let's do it.
So I got a call yesterday from the Trump team, and they said, hey, we'd like to invite you in the Oval Office for the El Salvadorian president in there. We just want to have you an opportunity to ask some questions. I said, absolutely. Then I realized that I was not wearing a jacket because I woke up in the morning and got dressed. I threw my winter coat over just my shirt and tie, forgot to put the suit coat on. Well, there was no way in the world I'm going to walk in that Oval Office without a jacket. Not only would it be political suicide for me, I would get murdered online. All the stories about how hypocritical I was to call Zelensky out, but yet I walked in the Oval Office without a jacket. So what I did, between a Lime bike, an Uber, and my shoes were running down the street, I ran home, got the jacket, ran back to the White House, only to miss the door closing in the Oval Office by about 5 minutes. But I was not going to disrespect the office of the presidency and not walk in there without a suit jacket.
Good for you. Good call on that. And as your agent who's going to book you on suit, like Warehouse for Men commercials going forward, I'll take my 10%. I'm glad you didn't because that would have blown up.
You can have it. I'll give you 15 because we're friends. I'll give you 15%.
All right, I'll take 10. I'll tithe all of it. Whatever. Anyway, Brian, really good having you. Really good working with you. And congratulations.
Thank you,
good luck on the Sunday show. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, folks. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
If we've learned anything over the past few years, it's that devastating events can strike without warning. Global pandemics, acts of terror, and even bank collapses that can cause chaos in a matter of moments. And I just want you to be prepared. Hi, I'm Donald Trump Jr., and it's for these reasons that I strongly recommend a gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, gold has protected wealth through every kind of crisis. Birch Gold can show you how to move your retirement savings into an IRA in gold, legally and tax-free. For decades, they've helped thousands of Americans protect their IRA or 401k from unexpected events. To learn more, click below for your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group, the only gold company I trust. Don't wait for the next crisis to strike. Take action now to protect your family's financial future. Click below for your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report I just read. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Join the over 2 million Americans who love this country. Join the over 2 million members who love America. Join AMAC.
Now, this is a beautiful place. This is a wonderful, beautiful place of this great American country. Sedona, Arizona, one of the most spiritual places. And I'm not a spiritual guy, but you get there and something happens to you. It's so wonderful, beautiful, quiet, serene, amazing. The weather's perfect all the time. Sedona, Arizona, folks. All right, it's a new day in America and a new administration in D.C. There's a lot of excitement and optimism about the future, but the reality is there's a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. And the truth is that the forces that are responsible for breaking our healthcare system aren't going away anytime soon. The challenges our system faces won't disappear overnight. Now more than ever, you need to be prepared. That's where the wellness company comes in. Great doctors here, folks. Their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their line of prescription medical kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy, whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, or the travel kit. These prescription meds and kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidance to assist in the proper use of the medications, from the flu to strep throat, from COVID to the bird flu, from a trip to the beach to a trip overseas. The Wellness Company has a prescription kit designed to keep you and your family safe. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part. Protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health.voice today and order. That's twc.health/voice. Use the promo code VOICE and save 10%. All right, we got a few minutes. My favorite part of the day, folks. My most favorite part of the day, I learned something. Bringing Steve Bannon, the one only Stephen K. We missed you, brother. We missed you a couple of days. Jack's great, but I got our Bannon back. Where you been?
I've been, yesterday I was en route to give a speech to the great Greenville, South Carolina GOP, which had about 1,200 people there last night for their convention, to elect delegates to the state convention in May. And These are fire breathers, precinct strategy. So it was fantastic. Great folks.
Great
just
great conservative folks. Great Bannon lovers as well. Chris Van Hollen. So there's this whole back and forth about the guy that they're calling the Maryland man, Steve. You know, the El Salvadoran national who came over here, became an MS-13 member, or became one and came here and has done things accused of possibly human trafficking, maybe drug trafficking, broke the law getting here. We sent him back, and now the left loves this guy for some reason, including a Democrat from the state of Maryland. Listen.
I saw the comments of President Bukele, and I look forward to meeting with him. I've requested to meet with him. I reached out to the ambassador here to ask to meet while he's here. But I've also made clear if we can't meet here, I do intend to go to El Salvador to discuss the release of this individual who is illegally detained. A Maryland man who's the father of 3 in a notorious prison in El Salvador. And I believe the president of El Salvador will recognize why it's important to allow him to return to the United States.
That framing of the Maryland man, Steve, is about as often disgusting as political as you could possibly get.
Well, I think, look, let him go down this road. I think President's pretty adamant about this. We're going to have Margot Cleveland from the Federalist on to talk about, but they're teeing up, as you see, Eric, a constitutional crisis. This is Weissman and the crowd at MSNBC and the New York Times. So Margot Cleveland's going to be from the Federalist. We also got the great Natalie Winters. Eric is talking about a judge that's blocking President Trump from deporting 400,000 illegals that are here, about his activity on working on Democratic Party campaigns. So, look, the Democratic Party is choosing this narrative, is going to go down this path. If that's what they want to do, let them go. I think it's an 80-20 issue, but hey, have at it.
Have at it. Continue. Yeah, let them. And I watched Caitlin Collins walk CNN into the ambush in the Oval Office yesterday. It was a beautiful sight. Couldn't believe she went at it 2 and 3 times and got smoked. She got leg swept and, one of the atomic elbows.
Hold it. So Bolling. Hold it, Bolling. What was the worst trap? Was the one Caitlin Collins walked into, or was the one Gretchen Whitmer walked into?
I don't know.
What's been the worst trap? The Oval Office trap.
Yeah, with a picture of her hiding behind the binders, it was hilarious. And she couldn't. I think Caitlin Collins smoked CNN. I mean, she just laid him on a platter for Trump and Bukele to hit the ball over the left field fence. In fact, I was on a podcast saying, this is what I'm getting to. I spent 2.5 hours. Patrick Bet-David does a massively popular podcast, and I was on it with, he tends to have opposing side. Chris Cuomo was the opposing side. And, over 2.5 hours, I was, talking about you a lot, Steve, and talking about MAGA and, you being the godfather of it and me being there from the beginning, OG MAGA. And by the end, he was almost sounding MAGA to me. So watch what I did at the end of this 2.5 hours.
Cuomo was something.
Oh, what's the t-shirt?
Notice how he waited.
At the end of the podcast.
See what it is. What does it say? Steve Bannon is my spirit animal.
He's coming around. You're on your way.
I'll tell you what. This is a trade from. I took my family on safari, and everybody picked a spirit animal. Yeah. And there's this stupid little antelope called a dick. And I let my kids name my spirit animal, and they said, "You're the dick."
That's so freaking funny.
A dick. D-I-K.
Yeah. Dick.
You're serious? Yeah, that was a rough day. So this is a big step up.
Yeah, it's probably not the first time or last time he's been called the dick. Sorry. I digress.
Wow, that's one of the biggest podcasts around.
It is, and we did 2.5 hours on tariffs, and you and I've talked about Lutnick, and I'm not a fan, and I'm understanding you're not a fan, and I do. I hope America somehow this is a great idea that I'm not seeing, and it's all going to come together. But listen, you have a lot of fans there, and everyone really appreciates what you've brought to the table, Steve.
Well, 2.5 hours. You were 2.5 hours with going mano a mano against Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, but there was Patrick, who hosts. It's his podcast, and there were 2 other guys, Vinny and Tom, who get involved. But it was mostly us having banter. And I'm telling you, Cuomo is sounding more and more like. I wouldn't call him MAGA. I would call him right of center, but I think clearly I think he has to do that.
Chris Cuomo, right of center. That has nothing to do with the ratings boost over at News Nation, right? That's totally unrelated to his new show and driving traffic over there.
Yeah,
totally unrelated.
Yeah,
his
what a
awakening.
coincidence. What's a coincidence, right? Yeah. All right, I'll let you go. Take over. You got a big show. Appreciate and good to have you back. Spirit animal, friend of mine.
Eric Bolling, always great to do the handoff every day. Highlight of my day. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. The great Eric Bolling. Tonight, we're going to start with a cold open. We're going to Georgia. We're going to Georgia. We're going to talk to our own Brian Glenn is there about a, I don't know, pretty wild town hall maybe on the horizon at 6 o'clock. Let's get the cold open and get rolling here in the war room.
Let's give you the headlines of the news coming out of China. There's a report that China has told its airlines to halt deliveries of new Boeing aircraft as well as parts. Now, this is one report. It has not been confirmed by the state government, at least not in a statement yet. Just for some context, China has taken delivery of 18 Boeing aircraft this year, 18 new aircraft, but the order backlog is immense out of China. And when you look at it, they've got 128 named orders, hundreds more that are in the queue but have not been named to specific Chinese airlines. There's also a report with regard to tariffs that is going to catch a lot of attention. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary, a friend of the Squawk Box crew, he told the FT today that there is every likelihood they may delay Boeing aircraft deliveries due to tariffs. And this is what we've heard more chatter about within the last week, guys, that airlines are going to say, well, wait a second, I got to pay a tariff on this aircraft? Maybe I don't need it right now. You hold on to it. Now, this is just the comments of Michael O'Leary, but this has been percolating under the surface a little bit within the airline industry, that as this tariff war heats up, the implications for Boeing, for Airbus, there could be large ripple effects.
This administration is just saying, sorry, we just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
What does that say to you about where we're going to be?
Where we're going to be, this is where this segment and the segment you just completed intersect. If you're going to move the United States, with all of its institutions, toward a more authoritarian form of government, where the president